All right, here we are. So here, where we at on the S13 suspension conversion onto an MX73 Cressida. I was having a lot of issues on what to use for my tie rod ends, and I just used whatever I had in hand. But there was one or two options. So first option was either going with the stock MX73 tie rod ends with the excessive manufacturing extender for Toyotas, which is this, but I couldn't use this since it did not sit correctly onto the S13 knuckles. So I took it off and went with a different one. Went with a different tie rod ends I had lying around, I guess you could say. And that is this right here. And what the tie rod end is a S14 tie rod ends from GK Tech. Yep. And the setup I use for it is for the extender. There's three options. There's a short, there's a middle, and there's a longer extension, or the longest one, I guess you could say, that came in that kit. For now, I am using the middle one, since I am using the stock MX73 inner tie rods. But if I were to change it, I might have to use the short one. So the inner tie rods, I could probably go with the MX73 ones, which is a little bit longer, but we'll see in the future. I mean, if this doesn't work, that's probably the option I will go with. Anyways, back to it. So for the extender, I'm using is the middle one that came in a packet, and as you can see how that's set up, I'm using the 10mm spacer that came in the kit. 10mm spacer with the installation spacer to give it a more flush look, I guess. And it seems to be pretty straight, I guess. Because I just put it on both ends, 10mm, and then you got both installation spacers in between, and then that's it. I didn't use the 5mm spacer because, well, it's probably not needed for now, but this is the way it is. Let's see, there's a little bit of play, but this, I'm gonna have to adjust this and hopefully make this a little bit straight after I put the wheel on, and then go from there straight enough to, the best of my ability without getting a alignment, right now. So, but in the future we have to, because you don't want to go up through tires unless that's how you roll, I guess. But yeah, here it is. And again, that is an S14 tie rod end from GK Tech, which seems to be doing pretty good. It fitted onto the S13 knuckles. And this is from my point of view on it, it looks pretty straight. Later on, I will have to either, I'm probably going to change this out to coilovers, and they said I could probably just kept using the, the stock MX73 LCA, but I did not know that. So I mean, if this doesn't work, I probably will switch it on later, and I'll do a whole video on it again, I guess. But for now, if this, this is what it is, and then this is what I'm gonna use. So let's see if this is good.